Life, what's it all about? Walking your journey, finding your way, finding a pathway, discovering a pathway, having a pathway be presented. Life, the journey of life, the journey of being upon Mother Earth, the journey of coming into physical being, from non-physical to physical. And then sharing, we want to say sharing, spending time, but sharing time, creating life. And isn't it true that others can create life for you? Isn't it of great truth that others come into the journey and create with you or create for you? No, turn this way. No, come with me. No, you're going in the wrong direction. No, it's this direction. No, it's this direction. You can't do that. You can't possibly do that. Our family has never done that. You cannot do that. You can't walk that way. And ones will veer off their pathway to follow another. And it isn't right or wrong. There are no words of condemnation in this sharing. It is just providing a space to ponder life in the oneness, in the wholeness, sharing higher consciousness. So the journey of life, one's ponder it, and then everyday life takes over. Responsibilities, perhaps raising a family, perhaps advancement in careers, perhaps looking after aging parents, if you will. Life. Traveling along each day, weeks, months, years, decades. And isn't it of grand truth that when one looks about the scenery, they either enjoy what they are viewing or they are dissatisfied with their viewing, or they enjoy what they are viewing, the scenery grand, and their heart aches a continual ache of emptiness. The road of life, the travel of life, where are you going? Where do you wish to go? Who do you wish to be? Who do you wish to be? What do you wish to share? What do you wish to share? And what is the purpose of all this life? Ones will say, I don't know the purpose. I don't even know my own purpose. I don't know what it's all about. Why is there so much hatred and cruelty? Wars. I don't understand. Others choose a path of complete solitude, removing themselves away from, we want to say, the grips of society, walking to the beat of their own drum, walking to the beat of their own heart, living among Mother Nature, removed from ones that will influence one's travel, wanting to be connected to the great vastness of the universe and filling their heart with all that is good on a star-filled night. Life, what choices do ones make? And isn't it fascinating? A choice that was made perhaps years ago is not the same choice you would make this day. If I knew I was walking into that lion's den, I would never have chosen that pathway. So when ones are deciding on the path to travel, if it is even an intentional looking at Some just move along, sort of like on a conveyor belt. They just move along and accept the scenery the way it is, and it just sort of pushes them along, just carries them along this conveyor belt of life. Not wanting to get off, not wanting to, not even a direction, just a straight walk ahead up until non-physical form. And others, they want to explore. They want to know all the map's details. They want to know all the little country roads they can take to where they can get to. And others, they know where they want to get to, and they always feel that there is a challenge or a hurdle, something that interferes with the destination upon which they are wanting to experience. And life is never a destination. And you are eternal. You are eternal. Ones will challenge that, and we are not here to change a belief. But let us just say, and it is of truth, but if it doesn't feel like truth to the one listening, then it doesn't matter what we say. So let us convey that you are eternal, that you have come into physical form to create. Ones will say, I'm here, what do I have to learn? What do I have to learn? I have to learn something. And we want to say, you want to create something. You want to create something. It's not about ones coming forth and having a repeat, needing to progress. It's about the creation. And what is one creating? Oneself. One is creating the space to be the best of oneself. Well, how can I be the best of myself when I don't like where I'm going? I grew up in a family that were, well, in my opinion, crazy. I was delivered all these things out of my control. And in all that delivery, and the family that feels unsuited to the soul, what did you create? What did you create with what was brought in? What did you do with the information, if you will? What did you create? And there's an example. There are two children. And the father, it's only an example. And the father, they grew up in a household where the father became an alcoholic, let us just say. And in his travel was unkind, was not himself under the influence of, beating upon himself, beating upon ones in the household for what he created. So you have two children growing up in the same home, and you meet up with them 20 years. They're into adulthood, they're on their own. They even perhaps may have family children on their own. And the two are so opposite. One is free, we want to say it this way, free of consuming alcohol, and the other cannot stop consuming alcohol. And the question is asked, why are you not drinking alcohol? Oh, I saw my father raise his children in a very unpleasant way, and I truly don't wish to be anything like my dad. And then the other is asked, why are you consuming alcohol? Oh, I grew up in a house. I had an alcoholic father. It's what I know. It's what I know. Life is difficult, it's what I know. Being handed down to me. Generation, just being handed down. I drink because my father drank and his father drank. So you have two individual beings walking their journey, coming forth with sort of the basic surroundings, if you will, under the same roof, influenced by the same society, influenced by the same family members. Not all experience the same naturally, but the influence is there. So one chooses one path, the other chooses the other, both using the same reason. I do or I don't because of my dad. And again, we're only using an example. This is only an example. There are hundreds of thousands of examples. We are just choosing this one. And there isn't, again, right or wrong, one not taking the drink, one taking the drink. It isn't right or wrong, which either path one chose, for one is choosing the pathway. Why are they choosing the pathway? Each have their own perceptions, each traveling along. Perhaps one just jumped on the conveyor belt. This is the way it is. Moving along on this slow-moving conveyor belt. This is the way it is. And the other, you can use the same in the same situation, if you will, when ones have lack of growing up in a household that experience poverty at times. And you have two children, and one is abundant in financial abundance and money. The other is just getting by. And it is a possibility they'll each have that same answer. I grew up in a house without money. One didn't want the experience. One just felt it was natural to continue the experience. There are hundreds of examples. We are just choosing one. So in this travel of life, one's making choices, choosing their spouses, choosing where to live. Little choices, big choices, forks in the road, career choices. How many children should we have? Choices. What will I do for pleasure? Choices. Choices, making choices really, truly each moment of the day. From what are we going to have for supper to what time is bedtime for the children. There is always a choice presented, always a decision. So, what are you deciding this day? Are you comfortable standing where you stand? Are you comfortable in your journey of life? And we want to share, it is a creation. You are a magnificent creation of magnificent creations, part and piece of the whole, each soul to be here, each soul to experience what they are creating. But ones tend not to be mindful in the creation. Ones tend to not understand, if you will, in a very gentle way. There is absolutely no condemning in this conversation. It is an awareness. It is a bringing forth one's natural desires. Ones will make a decision and beat upon themselves for a lifetime, carrying it with them each step they take. Shouldn't have moved, shouldn't have left my job, shouldn't have married my spouse, shouldn't have divorced my spouse. Or the should have done this, I should have. Shouldn't haves and should haves, all the same game, truly. truly is creating a space of beating upon oneself. I shouldn't have had that drink. Oh, I should have had a drink. Think about it. Just ponder it. So in your decision making, where are you making the decisions from? Are you making them from your intellect mind? Are you making decisions from past experiences and what you are familiar with, what you are knowing, if you will? Are you making your decisions right from the heart? Are you making your decisions from the gut, if you will, your intuition? Or is it all combined? Are you making a decision to please another? Are you making a decision to expand who you are? Are you making a decision to fulfill your dreams, wishes, and desires? Or are you moving away from them? Are you walking your own steps? Are you on that conveyor belt of life? Or are you imagining the creation before you and almost walking into the scenery? And we want to say to you, walk into the scenery of your desires and your dreams. And ones will say, what a whole lot of BS. If you knew what I have lived, if you knew the household I grew up in, there were no dreams. There were no wishes. There were no desires except to get out. Okay. Now you're out. Now you're out. Now what? Decisions, just think about it. Where are they coming from? What decisions are you making that stem back from a childhood? No, I have to be married. My parents were married 65 years. I have to be married. It is very important to them. Is that your personal decision or a decision made to please another? But you don't understand. I cannot move out of this community. I cannot move out of this community. My parents, they are aging. My children, they're just starting college, university. I can't uproot everyone. Even though I wish to travel, even though I wish to go another experience, I cannot. And we deeply understand, again, there is no condemning. What we are wanting to point out is, what held true perhaps 10 years ago, does it still hold true this day? Does it still hold true this day? Ones will make a decision to stay in the community, and then the children who were in college and university, they have a job offer that takes them miles, 4,000 miles away across the country, and the child leaves, leaving the one in the community. It's fascinating, is it not? And we are truly not encouraging ones not to think about others. Absolutely not. We are just wanting to be gentle, to say, have you just moved along without truly lifting your head up to see the scenery and to feel if it is working for you still? And what was grand 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, it doesn't feel the same. Things have changed. Children have grown. One's departing into the heavens. Life presents changes all the time. Life presents changes all the time. So, sort of going around in a circle, coming back to you are a creator. Yes, while you are here, you learn so much. And many of the decisions that one will make is from learning what they already know. Oh, I've done that before. I'm not doing that again. Oh, no, not doing that again. Not trusting this one again. Not trusting that. Not doing this. Not doing that. Experience. But then 10 years down the road, one is still not trusting in another, robbing themselves of perhaps a relationship, had a more harsh experience with a relationship, could not bring themselves to have another, and yet 10 years down the road, still feeling, still bringing forth. You are a grand creation. You are brought forth, if you will, to create. What are you creating? Are you creating a world of compassion? Are you creating a world of kindness? Are you creating a world that allows you to explore all your natural gifts and abilities? Are you experiencing life in the way you wish to experience life, your journey of life, yours to hold, your journey to walk? And there are times the decisions become so grand, can't make another one. I just cannot make a decision. I've made such poor decisions. I cannot make another one. And then one gets on that conveyor belt of life, not making any decisions, just moving along, perhaps unhappy, perhaps content, not making a decision, if you will. And you know the saying, not making a decision is making a decision. So instead of thinking about the decisions to be made, think about the creation to be made. Change the perception just a little. Replace the word decision with the word creation. What am I creating? When something is presented to you where you have to make a decision, ask yourself, what am I creating? So a simple, small example, we had used it, decision about what one's going to have for dinner. What are we creating for dinner? What would I like to experience in my creation? What am I creating? Just change the word and ponder it. Ponder it. What am I creating when I am living in this community? I chose to stay. What am I creating? So instead of beating upon oneself for decisions that one feel were poor decisions, find the space to understand of your grand creation. So you've made what you feel is a poor decision, and the only reason there is that experience of feeling it is a poor decision is when it doesn't go the way one thought it would. If it unfolded in all the grandness of all that is, you wouldn't beat upon yourself for making the decision. You would praise yourself for making the decision. But when there is conflict or when it doesn't go as planned, and how often do things do? One's beat upon themselves. The condemning starts. The condemning starts. The unkindness starts. Unkindness towards oneself, and perhaps one that has brought something to the travel. What are you creating? What are you desiring to create? And work from there. And if there is something in your world that you feel was a detrimental decision shouldn't have. You're really beating upon yourself. Shouldn't have, should have known better, shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that. And the tears flow, I shouldn't have. And you know you cannot change it. You cannot go back in time and change it. And we want you to know you can change not carrying it. Don't carry it. Ones will carry along their journey, such heartache and condemnation towards oneself for making what they feel were poor decisions or tragic decisions, brought them to a place they shouldn't be standing, brought them to hurt and heartache and great sorrow, or feeling like a failure. Why did I decide to go to school and then not pass any of my classes? And the condemning starts. But the creation was to go to school. So you've had the experience, you've moved along, you're looking at the experience, looking back at the scenery, looking back at the experience. We're using an example that you feel that you did not make the right choice, or you wouldn't be standing where you're standing. Okay, now stop and create. Create from a place of non-judgmental, being non-judgmental towards yourself, to where you stand. Put down the anger towards where you stand. Just put it down. Not easy to do. Not easy to do. This conversation can go on and on. So truly, in a nutshell, we are wanting ones to understand, if you will, that you are a grand creation of grand creations. You are a miracle creating miracles, whether you feel it or not. And you are not here to be punished. You are here to create. You are here to create. And if what you feel you would wish to create, have the experience, it didn't go the way you wanted. So we'll use marriage as an example. You really truly wanted a partner. You really truly wanted the experience of marriage that had a solid foundation, as trusting as the sun, love just, abound. And then something happened that's sort of destroyed it. Fill in the blank. There are hundreds and thousands of reasons. And so now one beats upon themselves for getting married. But the creation was to get married. The creation was bringing forth what one truly wanted to bring forth in their wishes and desires. So you're standing in a place where, perhaps you are standing with divorce papers in your hand, not understanding the travel, not understanding what happened, or understanding what happened. Now, from this moment, what do you wish to create? What do you wish to create? From the experience that led you to learn about yourself, led you to learn about what you truly want in your journey of life. What do you wish to create? And perhaps it is marriage. And if that is the answer, you will go seeking a beautiful partner. And if that isn't the answer, what do you wish to create? Not what decisions are you going to make. What do I do now? What do I do now? I know life with my partner. I know life being married. What do I do now? You create. You create from a place of your heart. You create from your beautiful intuition, your inner essence. You create from knowing what you want, from a pathway that presented you what you don't want. born grand ideas of what you want. If you don't want the experience again, you're going to walk away from it. But do not bring condemnation with it. Bring the knowing of creation. Ponder it. Creation, you are a creation of grand creations. So would you not then wish to create, knowing you are creating your journey of life? What do you wish to create? A peaceful heart? Bring forth what a peaceful heart looks like. Bring forth the scenery of a peaceful heart. And even before bringing forth, see it ahead of you. Create the portrait before you walk into the scenery. Create what you are wanting to experience, and then walk towards, knowing that you will blend in to the portrait of life, because you are knowing you are the creator. And when ones discover that one has created each step, another topic for another day, ones will deeply understand that if they pull the creation from the depths of within their own magnificence, they create magnificence. Really, really good. Ponder. What are you creating this day? What are you creating this day along your journey of life? Are you creating compassion and kindness? Are you creating a space that offers love to many? Are you creating a space to love oneself? Are you creating a space that does not allow condemnation or harsh judgment from yourself or from another? What do you wish to create? It sounds so simple. And we want to say, when one understands the creation is from within, and if one can create from the magnificent essence of how one was created by the Creator, if you will, it is grand creation. You are a miracle creating miracles. Create your miracle. There is great love for you.